Welcome back. All right, so in my continuing look at prospects from this year's draft, who are now drafted, of course, Daniil But. We're going to talk about the number 12 pick for the Arizona Coyotes today. So left winger, Coyotes deciding to get bigger in this draft, and honestly, they might have got themselves a steal. So let's go through this. But is 6'5" or 195 centimeters, 203 pounds or 92 kilos. So NHL projectable size, check, and then some. The fact he's 6'5" and he can skate should terrify people, I would think. We'll see how it goes. Now, one thing about But is that it appears that he may not have been seen by as many scouts as others. The idea that he played in the MHL for most of the season, he kind of flew under the radar. So playing for Locomotive in 2021-2022 in the MHL, 46 games, 17 goals, 25 assists, 42 points. This year, still with the MHL's Locomotive, 26 games, 15 goals, 11 assists, 26 points. He did play 15 games for Locomotive in the KHL, 15 games, 2 goals there. So he played against men in the KHL, and he kept up. He did well. So he was ranked number 24 by Elite Prospects before the draft, ranked number 7 by Hockey Prospect, who were very high on him and glowing in their description of But and how good this kid was going to be. Bob McKenzie had him at 22nd, Sportsnet had him at 21st, and McKeen's had him at 15th. So, again, as with most prospects in this draft, opinions are varied. So, with that in mind, one thing that stands out, and is one of the first things that Hockey Prospect says in their draft book, a good mix of skill, size, and speed. And I will say this too, just free plug, Hockey Prospect, McKeen's, Elite Prospects, it's still worth getting the draft books because you do get a lot of information on these picks. And then it's fun to look back years later and say, there's where they were right and here's what, maybe a player fixed. Now, in Boots' case, he's already fixed what was an issue for him a couple years ago, which was speed. Speed was an issue. His skating still not seen as perfect, but the issues with his skating could be fixed by him getting more strength as he gets older and just working on the mechanics, right? He has a large frame, but likely needs to add weight to play in the NHL. So maybe 20 extra pounds, and he'll be good to play in the NHL, maybe 30. But there's time, right? This is not a prospect who's very likely to come over within the next couple of years. So it's a good pick for Arizona, a team that might be a couple of years away from competing for a playoff spot. He has a similar skill set to Tage Thompson. Now, one thing they said in the Hockey Prospect book was he is ahead of where Thompson was at this age, but they were careful to say they are not projecting that he will be as good as Tage Thompson, just that at the same age, he's ahead of where Thompson was. So, very similar game, very big player, also a forward, and yeah, there's a lot of reason to think, all right, may very well be another power forward in the NHL. So, his stick handling is seen as inconsistent. If there's anything that may very well be an issue for him, it's that he's a good passer, but the playmaking could use some work as well. So on top of needing to add some weight to likely make it to the NHL, just some playmaking, some decisions out there, just that kind of stuff he needs to do a little bit of work on. But it's nothing that would be a red flag, I wouldn't think, to any of the scouts. Strong play away from the puck. He worked on that this past season. It sounds like his compete level's really high. And he worked on a lot of things during the season that needed to be improved, and he made those improvements. So I had to put at the bottom, he might be a few years away because he clearly is, but this could be a player that we look back on again 5 years from now and say, how was he available at 12? He's a big power forward. He's good away from the puck. He can play a little bit of everything out there. He's got speed to go with that size. He can throw hits. There's a lot of reasons to think that this kid is going to be a pretty good player in the National Hockey League. He is seen as the floor, so the least that he is seen as becoming in the NHL is probably a third liner. But he could very well be a very strong second liner, outside chance of being a first liner, especially as a left winger. You've got a better chance of making it to the top line if you're a pure left winger, or at least a natural left winger, right? So we'll see. The Arizona Coyotes, I wouldn't say they went off the board with their first 2 picks, but they showed they're not scared of taking guys out of Russia, and it may benefit them down the road. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Where do you see But fitting into the lineup when he's ready to go? Do you see top 6? Do you see top 9? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happen upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.